whenever this thing is up. It did this again. Are you serious? Where it's like, hold up. Oh, are we live though?
Yeah, we are. I think we are. I'm actually going into it right now. Let me pause this here.
I see the chat. Edward Chan. You know what? Jersey Life.
You are definitely live, my friend.
We are live. All right, bet. Because I have to pull up on my laptop. All right, guys. Here, what's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers. It is Kush, Noname, the Hub here with OGR Sports, a great friend of the channel. He's been on here several times. You guys know him. If you don't, go down into the description. I have his Twitter and his YouTube down there. Subscribe and follow. OGR, how you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic, my man. Let me bring you back up on Skype because I'm staring at YouTube and I'm watching the delay and I'm going out of my mind right
I'm
now.
trying to bring up YouTube on my laptop right now so I can monitor the chat and actually monitor the stream. Cause
oh man,
my subs know, like, recently the past couple of streams that I've tried to do, for some reason OBS hasn't been working with me, so I have to be double tasking on multiple monitors, and it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, it definitely is not. That's why that's why I've like gone almost strictly to StreamYard to stream anything. UFC, anything, even though it doesn't have as many options as like OBS and making everything nice. It's just quicker and easier.
That's
it's
literally
a lot friendlier.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason I'm sticking with OBS right now, is just because of the in terms of just what you call it, how easy it is to edit and make it. It's exactly what you said, to make it look like you, rather than just, with StreamYard, unless I go and I pay for the monthly subscription thing, not really gonna have much control there. As I'm sending out the last tweet for this, hopefully people see it and get in here. What is up, Lestat Walton? I did see you, man. How you doing?
The other thing is, my friend, right now everybody's back to baseball. So every live stream I've been in has been, no offense to you, I mean, obviously you get more guys than I do, but it's been a dud, to say the least. So I'm not expecting a big amount of people right now.
Hey man, listen.
The Yankees won. People are probably outside celebrating.
That is true.
And then obviously the Mets. I don't know how the Mets are doing. Kevin Cronin, what's going on, man?
Kevin Cronin in the chat. Go the Phillies. Listen, man, listen. I used to be a big baseball fan back in the day. Kind of like with the NHL, I just haven't watched them a lot in recent years. I don't know why. It's funnily enough, as I fell out of baseball and hockey, I fell into football, so to speak, in terms of like watching the sport more and more. I haven't seen baseball in a while. What about you, OGR?
I watched baseball today. I've watched the Red Sox lose horribly to the Baltimore Orioles. It doesn't get any worse than losing to the Baltimore Orioles. I don't care if it's coming during Corona or if there was no Corona. It is hurtful as a Boston Red Sox fan right now. We have zero pitching.
Oh my God, you're a Red Sox fan, man? I don't even know how I'm still friends with you.
I will come through the screen right now. I will come through this screen.
Listen, man.
You want to go to war, Balake?
Bro,
you want to go to war?
How does it feel to be an inferior version of the Yankees?
What are you talking about? We've had more success in the last 10
years. Oh, sure, bro. All right, bro. Listen, just because you got a World Series to your name.
What have you done for me lately? When's the last time you won one? 2010? We've had two.
We should have gotten that 2017 when the Astros were horrible cheaters. Everybody knows this. 100% that would have been the Yankees year, 2017. And I think that was probably the last year.
I don't think you win in the playoffs, honestly. You guys don't have the pitching. Maybe you have the pitching now. Garrett Cole is finally there. But you get an injury to Garrett Cole, you are screwed with the capital S.
I will say I cannot disagree with that, because like I said, I haven't seen baseball in a while. But yeah, 2017 was actually the last year I used to watch it like on a semi-consistent basis, funnily enough. And after that, maybe it has something to do with that playoffs run where I was just so disappointed and I just kind of dropped out. I don't know. It'd be like that sometimes. I might get back into it just because, there's nothing else to watch right now. But speaking of which, we finally have some actual news. So today, I think it was like correct me if I'm wrong, like 10 o'clock in the morning. It was like really early today. First reports came out that the Giants are planning to cut Aldrick Rosas. Then, of course, it did actually happen. And then literally like an hour after, it was confirmed that Aldrick Rosas is no longer part of the New York Giants. They go out and sign a guy, Chandler, I can't pronounce his last name, Catanzaro, former New York Jet kicker who has experience in MetLife, to replace Rosas. It seems to be. Your thoughts, OGR?
My thoughts are, it is what it is. And right now, you need a kicker on the roster. I'm praying they bring guys in to compete. Anybody at this point. But, we've never really had any consistency at kicker for quite some time now.
For probably like 5 years, I'd say we haven't had a good consistent kicker.
Yeah, I mean, really, Josh Brown was literally the last one.
Yeah,
that was consistent.
That unfortunately happened with what happened with Josh Brown.
Every time we have a kicker, I am just literally biting my nails to bleed to make an extra point. Never mind a field goal.
And it's funny because
I hate having that feeling. It should be guaranteed.
Yeah,
it should have that Justin Tucker type feeling.
Exactly. It's funny that Josh Brown is the last consistent one, because the first replacement that we have for Josh Brown in that same season that he was cut from the Giants was Robbie Gould. And I don't know how Robbie Gould didn't stick with the Giants or why they didn't keep him and whatnot, but he's one of the more consistent kickers in the NFL right now. In fact, he was when he was on the Giants. I don't know why in the world whatever happened there happened, and it's funny that we let him go, and he's a pretty good kicker now.
He's a pretty good kicker now, but I probably just got signed away at that point. The Giants weren't willing to put in what they needed to do.
Exactly. And what do you think about Chandler? Before the stream, you were looking at some of his stats. You want to let some of the people know in the stream what this guy is like, what they're getting in this Jets kicker?
So if you get Catanzaro of 2014-2015 Arizona Cardinal Catanzaro, you're feeling pretty good. You probably want your field goal kicker right around 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And you want as close to 100% field goal percentage as you can. But we haven't seen that guy since God knows when. I mean, he had a pretty good campaign there with Carolina in limited action. He was 100%.
But then again, that was a small sample size, right? How many attempts was that?
4. I think he had 4 and like two extra points or something like that. But yeah.
And so he's bounced around the league for the past couple of times. What's up to Jesse Bryan? How you doing, my guy? And Bronx B Squad.
Beast in the house.
Exactly. Happy late birthday to Bronx B Squad. His birthday was over this past weekend, I think, or just a couple days ago. Happy late birthday to you, my man. But yeah, and then the thing is, so if you get him from a couple years ago, you're fine. No problem. That's going to be a good place kicker for like this year at the very least. Maybe they do something next year's offseason. But then the problems come into the fact that he's bounced around with 3 teams in his last year in the NFL. And he's been out of the league for a year because he's actually been retired of his own. That was his own choice. He was like, he feels like he doesn't have the stuff anymore. There's confidence issues there.
Fans nervous.
That makes me nervous. Personally, it makes me nervous. What about you?
I hate having the feeling that I don't know a kicker can consistently make an extra point, never mind a field goal, like I reiterated.
Imagine if he doesn't even have the confidence in himself, which is what it looks like. I mean, obviously the dude had to have something going for him to say, yeah, you know what, I'll take up this job with the Giants. Listen.
I mean, maybe he's looking at the Giants saying, easy paycheck, even if I'm 50-50.
I was just about to say that. I'm like,
where are the field goal kickers coming from?
Exactly. I'm like, because realistically speaking, there's not really anybody on the market right now to be of note. Of course, I think we all want Gostkowski, though Gostkowski is coming off that injury, but still, even an injured Gostkowski last year was just as good, if not better, than Aldrick Rosas last year. So even if we get an injured Gostkowski, it's going to be like nothing changed. We're basically going to have Rosas again. Of course, if he's healthy, he's one of the best kickers in the league, and he's still out there.
Yeah, and there's a couple other guys that you can go out and get, but I really expect another signing from the Giants. We need one.
We need somebody to get in there for competition. I can't realistically see this guy, just him being signed, and he's automatically the starting kicker for this year.
Yeah, I'm blown away. Hey, I got a question for you, unless you want to keep going on the kicker thing.
You can go ahead.
All right. So my question is, after the CBA, the NFL, and the NFLPA, came to agreement on what the season's going to be structured, testing and whatnot, one, why haven't the Giants signed a bunch of rookies yet? I haven't heard hardly anything about rookie signings.
It's funny because I like teams like the Steelers.
Like
yeah, exactly.
Dallas has their guys signed. Washington has their.
What
are the Giants waiting for?
Yeah.
That's one. And two, what do you think about the cap being $175 million next year? Because that's the number they're starting out at. Yeah, it's not going to be any lower than $175.
Isn't that a decrease from what it was last year?
No, this year, right now it's 198. It's going to fall down next year to 175.
Oh, okay. So it is a decrease. That's because they're borrowing money to make this cap what it is right now. They're borrowing money from future cap space. Am I right? Or is that just a complete decrease in general?
But they're going to take a big hit this year, and the player escrow idea. Now it sounds bad initially.
You might want to explain that to the chat if they don't know
back.
it.
You get your money back. It's an escrow account.
Yeah.
People do that all the time to buy houses and shit. Escrow is a thing. If I was the players, I would take that. That means the cap is going to be normal next year. Now that you have this, because teams don't care. The cap going down is probably a good thing. You know, for us, it's a good thing.
For the team, it's a good thing because, bro, it might sound so cutthroat, but Jesus, this is what needed to happen to get stuff like quarterback contracts under control.
Exactly, but guess what? Dak, I feel bad if you were the Cowboys because you are hit. They, I think, are $30 million under the cap next year. Last time I checked on Sports Truck, that's without Dak being on the roster because obviously he hasn't signed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're not going to franchise him tag.
Listen. I expected Dak to walk no matter the situation after they franchise tagged him for the second year in a row.
Yeah, they're war on their hands. So exactly. I hope they like Andy Dalton that much.
So in terms of the rookie signing things, I agree with you. I don't know what the Giants have been doing because I've seen posts on, like very social media problems like the Steelers, they've signed most of their rookies. I think the Seahawks have signed most of their rookies. You already said it, the Eagles and Cowboys to some certain extent. But here's the thing, did the Jets sign any of their rookies? Because if the Jets did not, then it certainly has something to do with them playing in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Just like how they're currently the only two teams who have no fans in stands, officially.
I do not know about the Jets.
So let me pull that up real quick. If they don't, then it's 100% related to that.
But getting back into the thing, I mean, the team that it affects the most, Eagles fans, this is your year because if you don't get it, guess what? Goodbye. Goodbye to your chances because all your contracts are backloaded. And guess what? You're not re-signing Zach Ertz. He's gone. He's a free agent. I'll take him.
Bro, the Eagles in general, my guy. The Eagles... I will be so surprised if they get anything more than 8 wins this season. Going into this season, their depth is shot. Their defense got no depth. Their linebacking core is non-existent, and they refuse to address it for the past 5 years. Then obviously, the guy on the offensive line
has no depth.
The offensive line. Their starter went down, and then their depth left in the offseason before that starter went down. The Eagles are legitimately a skeleton crew right now. I have no idea how they're going to perform before you add in the cap stuff.
They have a great starting 22. They have a great starting 22. And I tell Eagles fans this all the time. But they don't get the fact how I'm making fun of them. It's great. I went to Lord Brunson's channel today. I was actually trying to help him out. He was having some technical issues. I got on the phone with him. But he answered my question on the depth issue. He was clueless.
Are you serious?
He's like, yeah, we have a starting 22, but yeah, we have a little bit of depth issues. I'm like, bro.
A little bit.
Yo, how stupid. I'm sorry. You're brash, you're bold, and that's part of your shtick. But, dude, at some point, world's going to come crashing down here. You have anybody go down, you got some serious problems as an Eagle fan. What's going on, Big Blue Jabroni?
Shout out to Big Blue Jabroni in the chat. Bronze B Squad.
I was live with him earlier today. So.
I did see that. I think that was the second episode of his Sunday Snap Count show. Guys, go check that out. Sub up Big Blue Jabroni. I think I might have left a comment on there. I'm not sure. He's having a new giveaway type of competition. Yeah, I did. And before I get to it, Bronze B Squad said, the day before I went to the beach with my uncle who's a Jets fan and jokingly said, the best birthday gift would be the Jets to lose the more important player, cough, cough, Jamal Adams. So he did that the day before Jamal Adams was traded, and we could get it. You want to get into that now before we continue on the rookie deal stuff, or what do you want to do? Because I have the rookie deals pulled up.
But yeah, we can get into it quickly. I mean, there's not really too much to say. Oh, by the way, my prediction was right.
What was your prediction?
That Jamal Adams is going to the Seahawks.
Really? My mind is completely befuddled right now, so I can't remember that.
I'm pretty sure if you go back and listen to one of the roundtables that we did, I think either on Bad Dogs or Entertainers channel.
Oh, that's from a while ago.
Jamal Adams had popped up during that time, I think, and I said he's going to the Seahawks. Seahawks make the most sense to me. And sure enough.
So what do you think about the trade in general? It's a good fit for Jamal and the Seahawks.
It's a good fit for the Seahawks because I think Pete Carroll's one of the few coaches that can get Jamal Adams to buy into the system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing for him. I think they gave up way too much. I think if you would have done a first, a third, and maybe a fourth the year after, that was enough to get Jamal Adams. You didn't need to throw in another one.
I agree with you. I don't think they needed to give 2 first-round picks, but at the same time, I'm like, the Seahawks, for this decade, essentially, except for 2011, have been trash when it comes to drafting in the first round. It just seems to be something that they're not exactly hitting on. Every one of their good picks comes in the second round or later, especially the past 3 years. You talk about L.J. Collier, Rashad Penny. I forgot who they took this year. That was a complete surprise. It just seems like first round, the Seahawks don't really draft that well. And if this Jamal Adams things work out, they're not exactly going to be picking too high in the first round in the first place. So, like, part of me, yeah, I definitely agree with you. They didn't need to give up that first rounder. Jamal would have went there if they just added in, like, another third or another fourth or something like that. But it's not like it's much of a loss to the Seahawks, in my opinion.
Concur.
And then with the Jets, now the Jets they got basically a nice little haul there, but same
Good
thing.
for
How
Joe Douglas.
how are the Jets going to use it? Like, the Jets, yet to see how this 2020 draft played out. Their 2019 draft was okay. I mean, it all comes down to how they use the picks, given the fact that they now have a good amount.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of like what Joe Douglas is doing. I think Joe Douglas is the right guy to get turned around. Now, that still leaves questions. Is Adam Gase the coach you want? We're going to find out this season because I think Adam Gase is on
I was literally going to ask you that, bro. How many more games does this guy have? Realistically speaking, he should have been gone this offseason, but how many games does he have left, man?
He has 16.
You think he's going to last the full
16
season?
And if they make the playoffs.
You think he's going to last the full
I
season?
got to take this call for 2 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, for sure, man. So, while OGR is gone, guys, let me get back to the chat. For real, but a few months ago, I had them at 11-5. New York Giants has the most dead money from 2018 to 2020. NY Jets is the 8th, I think. Yeah, we have the most dead money because we got rid of a lot of players that took up a lot of cap space. And a lot of people look at that as a negative, the fact that we have so much dead money, and it is, it is. But we freed up a lot of cap space for the future. I think I said this back when was it? Sometime earlier this year, and I was talking about good moves Dave Gettleman made. The fact that he freed up that cap space is better for us in the long run, even though it leads to dead money. I'm really happy that he freed up that cap space. I was going to say next, I did get the Jets rookie. You're back? So we were talking about how the Giants have the most dead cap space in the league from 2018 to 2020. I'm like, it is technically a negative, but I view that as a positive because we got rid of a bunch of contracts that didn't need to be on there anymore, and it frees up stuff for the future.
Yeah, at 2018, yeah, a lot of people like to point that out. I saw that article the other day, and to me, you know what? If you're gonna rebuild your team, most rebuilding teams have dead cap space.
Exactly. So it's like that's actually just gave them and doing the rebuilding job that, well, now that he's placed in, he wasn't brought here to do that, but that's not his job now. And yeah, Odell is a big part of that cap space. That's why it's from 2018 to 2020. I think, guys like Snacks also come into play, Jackrabbit, of course, Lavier Vernon. Those are the guys that really make up that cap space. And then I got the Jets rookies pulled up. The Jets actually have signed their rookies, like at least a good amount of them. They've signed Mekhi Becton. They've signed 8 of their 9 picks to a deal, so it's not something to deal with.
The Giants got to jump on that horse.
Exactly. It's not some. I was like thinking it has to do with they're the only 2 teams that have no fans. Maybe something to do with COVID. It's not that at all. What in the world is up with the Giants?
But there, at one point, I mean, obviously, I think more people have been approved, but you actually have to send your approval on what you're going to do for COVID, and the Giants were one of the first 9 teams to get approved.
Okay.
So that's something interesting.
I'm looking up the Giants right now because I remember when I was doing a video a couple days ago, I saw that Andrew Thomas was coming close to his deal, but that was a couple days ago, and the close hasn't actually manufactured into the deal has been signed yet. I have no idea what's happening with this, and I'm pulling up right now. There's like a complete a draft tracker. So Andrew Thomas is currently not signed. Let me scroll down to the Giants real quick. They actually have literally, no, I'm not scrolling down to the Giants. I'm gonna scroll down by team and tell you what's happening. Arizona Cardinals sign all their players. Atlanta Falcons sign all their picks. Baltimore Ravens sign all their picks. What's up, Nerding Out Sports? How you doing, my guy? Go out there and check out Nerding Out Sports. He does a great job. Like I said, Baltimore Ravens, literally all their rookies have been signed. Buffalo Bills, all their rookies have been signed. Same for the Panthers, same for the Bears. The Bengals, the only 2 rookies that haven't been signed is Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. Cleveland Browns, all their rookies are signed. And it's the same thing, Cowboys, Broncos, Detroit, except for their 7th round pick, Green Bay, Houston. Literally every single team in the league not named the New York Giants seem to have signed their rookies. Look at this right now. New York Giants, they only have 4 rookies signed. Matt Parrott, Cam Brown, T.J. Brunson, and Tay Crowder. Every other team in the league has basically like 99% of their rookies players.
Guys.
Well, Matt per third round, but yeah, other than that, all the late round guys. Chris Williamson and Carter Coughlin haven't been signed yet.
Wow.
So
wow, Giants. Let's get going, Gettleman.
Literally,
actually,
bro.
That's actually more Kevin Abrams. He's actually the money guy.
Oh, really? But it surprised me. The only other team that's similar to the Giants right now is the Seahawks. They only signed 2 of their rookies. But that's still like, out of 32 teams in the league, the Giants, what are you doing? Because every other team is on the move.
Yeah, and you got to get your guys signed because your camp's starting what?
Yeah, they have to get them signed in 2 days. Camp starts in 2 days. Those players cannot pull up to camp if they're not on contract. That I expect to see a bunch of stuff like that.
They'll get it done. I can't imagine. Like rookie contracts are probably the easiest thing
exactly.
to do. Like, it's all set,
it's all predetermined, right? It's all predetermined, right?
Yeah.
Like, what in the world? I don't know. My best guess is that it's just been delayed for some weird reason related to COVID, but then again, 30 other teams in the league have signed basically all their players, so I can't say that.
Because they need to test these players too. I know there's like 2 rounds of testing that are going on right now before they even get into camp.
But can you even use
a lot of it's virtual? Can
you even use that as an excuse when the Jets are literally having the same type of program that the Giants are because they're both at MetLife?
Yeah.
They're both at Quest Diagnostics Center. No, wait, are the Jets at Quest Diagnostics? But they're both at MetLife, I think. I don't think the Jets are at Quest Diagnostics.
Quest Diagnostics, and I think Jets are somewhere else. I don't know where the Jets are else.
Okay. Oh, so actually, yeah, that might have something to do with it because the Jets their off-season program is not at Quest Diagnostics. It is somewhere else. So maybe there's still something there. I don't know. That's just me speculating, but they need to get it done.
I'm just wondering, could the Giants scrimmage the Jets?
I want because let's be realistic. You think the preseason is going to be scrapped? I've been saying that for months, and it looks like it's going to get scrapped.
Yeah, but is there anything stopping guys from scrimmaging?
No, that's why I'm asking because I'm like, if the preseason is scrapped, then they need to do scrimmaging. Like they would need to do scrimmaging with teams that are close to them to try and figure out these roster spots.
I believe has answer to that question.
He said Jets are somewhere in Florham Park. Where is Florham Park? Is that still in Jersey? It's in the township of New Jersey.
I imagine it is. I don't even think you have to look it up.
Yeah, it is in the township of New Jersey. It's actually it's quite a good distance away from MetLife Stadium, to be honest with you. So maybe it's just something to do with how MetLife is handling their situation. Who knows? But scrimmaging...
Well, I don't think it's like an easy, even 50-50 split on the ownership of the stadium. It might be, I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure the Giants have more. I would be surprised if it's 50-50, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because they're the ones on site of MetLife with Quest Diagnostics.
Now, did you hear about Woody Johnson?
I did not. What's up with Woody Johnson?
That is the owner of the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. The whole... when Jamal Adams tried to force his way off the team, there was rumors going around that, he had some racial stuff in his background, and that a lot of people were saying, hey, if this stuff comes to light, he might not be the owner of the Jets anymore. And Jets fans would be thrilled.
The top story of Woody Johnson right now, when you're looking up on Google, is, for some reason, Trump's British ambassador. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, he was an ambassador for Trump at one point.
Really? How in the world did this dude... every time I look up the owner of any sports team, football or not, I'm like, how did they get the money and why did they go into this? But it's just because it's a lucrative job right there. I'm learning out...
No, it's not even that they're a lucrative job. They just did something to get billions. I mean, the mayors are all about hotels.
Yeah.
That's how I believe they got their billions.
Exactly. And then Learning Out Sports says, I believe the Giants and Jets were supposed to have joint practices, but they were canceled for now. The Giants and Jets almost every offseason have some sort of joint practice. For some reason, the Giants and the Lions the past couple of years have also had a bunch of active scrimmages. I don't know if there was any schedule for this year, but obviously if they were, they would have been canceled. But going back to what OGR said, I would love for them to have some type of scrimmage because they're going to need practice against another team if the preseason is not going to be there.
Unfortunately, even though I said that, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, overthinking it. Now, kind of like thinking about it a little bit more. I was just throwing it out there.
So why do you think it won't happen?
Because it wouldn't be fair to other teams. Like the Giants could go against the Jets no problem because everybody's been tested. Everybody at that point really wouldn't be dangerous for these guys to scrimmage. But you think about somebody who Tennessee. Who are they going to scrimmage? There's nobody else to scrimmage in their state.
Well,
Texas,
I don't know if that would stop the Giants from doing it completely, because then you could kind of use that argument for every offseason. Because not every team scrimmages every offseason, even though there's a preseason.
well, no, but it's easier to scrimmage. Like you just have to schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just scheduling issues. The problem with the Giants and Jets, it would be unfair, is because they'd be getting work against other teams where other teams would not be getting work. Because the Giants and Jets are so close, it'd be easy. Even Buffalo can't even make the argument because they'd be coming down.
That's true, yeah. And then, teams like Tennessee. The only 4 teams in the league that would have it easy would be Giants, Jets, Chargers, Rams, to be honest.
And Dallas. Dallas could go, traveling to Houston, I don't think that would be that big of a deal.
Okay, I don't know the geography down there in Texas, how far apart the cities are. Maybe it's not that big.
All this, but you're within the state, If you're traveling on a bus and all your guys are tested and you're going to another facility where all the guys are tested, and as long as you're not stopping in random towns for pee breaks, you'd be okay. And most buses have
that's I think you just brought up something I didn't think about with the same state, because then the laws are going to vary from state to state with how they're dealing with the issues.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty good point.
California teams wouldn't have a problem. Texas teams really wouldn't have a problem. New Jersey teams would not have a problem. Everyone else would be like, yo, why do they get the scrimmage and we don't?
What about Baltimore and Washington? They're still kind of close to each other, even though they're different states. Well, Washington is in this.
I believe it all falls under the same thing. Maybe.
Okay.
But I mean, at this point, we're just arguing we're not arguing, but semantics.
Exactly. Bronze B Squad said, I heard people say the Jets executives were talking bad about Jamal, but I don't know what it was they were saying. Do you have a little bit more on that story? Because I'm still not sure. You didn't really get into what Woody Johnson was doing exactly.
I don't have the whole story. I read it earlier in the week. It was more than, but basically, as being an ambassador, he used racial slurs, as far as I know, and people are trying to basically, drag him under the bus at that point to kind of get him out of there.
What's up, little OGR? How you doing, man? We got small OGR in the chat over here. I'm looking at this article right now. It does look like it seems to be at least kind of serious, and he may have to step down as the owner of the New York Jets. I'm not a Jets fan, obviously, but as OGR said before, some Jets fans would be happy if he steps down as the owner. I mean, the Jets in recent years have made a bunch of questionable decisions, so I guess a change of ownership might be a good thing. Similar to how the Washington football team is going through a change. Well, I would be surprised if they don't go through a change with Dan Snyder. What do you think about that, since we're talking ownership things here?
Dan Snyder, I think, is safe. He's doing everything that people want him to do.
Well, I don't know about people. I think he's doing everything that maybe his board of directors wants him to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not doing it the way he wants to, but I think he's safe. He's not really part of the allegations. Nothing, he's not part of any of the sexual abuse scandal. Dan Snyder's going nowhere unless literally people force him out.
Okay. And I don't know if I got to ask you, because I can't remember. Was the last time we were on stream together, was it last Sunday?
Yes, it was.
So, yeah, man, let me hear you.
Just me, you, Kid Blue.
Let me hear your thoughts on the Washington football team, the WTF.
The WTFs, I mean, right now
they've been getting clowned.
They've
been getting clowned, yo.
All right, so sirens are a little bit distracting there.
Oh, you can hear it? I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
I definitely hear it.
That's my window is open.
It's not a big deal.
Now, you know what's crazy is that the window is legitimately a good 20 feet away from me, so I did not expect it to carry all the way over.
Yeah, that's awesome. So going back to it, Washington football team. Really, they're in between a rock and a hard place because a bunch of people have already tried to get the rights to names. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of sucks. So getting a name and getting the right to it's going to be tough. And then on top of that, what else could they do? We're putting a figurative gun to their head and saying change the name or else.
This is literally the safest thing they could come up with.
And that is the same. It doesn't affect anybody. And it's fun, but it's only going to be a year or two thing. So. Oh,
you think it's still going to take that long? I thought it would have been there until maybe the start of the season, and then they're going to get a name.
Most name changes have taken 2 years. If you look at from the Bullets to the Wizards and NBA, that took 2 years. From the
what was the most recent one in any sport?
From the Houston Oilers to the Titans, it took 2 years.
Really?
Those are the most recent.
No, I think in any sport it was the NBA Hornets to the I think the Hornets changed into the Pelicans, and then the Hornets got brought back, or maybe it was the Bobcats to the Pelicans. Yeah, I think that was also like a year, 2 year type of thing. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like because as of right now, the story that's out there is that Snyder wants to get a name, but there's literally one dude that holds like all the trademarks and copyrights, like a list of 20 names relating to Washington. So it's like I'm 100% convinced that dude saw this coming at one point, and he just went out and got the trademarks for all that, and is gonna make a bunch of money now. But there's a couple people out there that's holding the name that Dan Snyder specifically wants, and he has to buy those out. That's the story that I'm hearing. So that's why I was like,
And
if he has a,
that's
yeah, go on.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah, so if that's the case, that's why I'm like, I would expect it to be a bit faster, just because he already knows what he wants. But what do you think about their quote-unquote uniform change? They went out with these new uniforms, and I'm putting quotation marks around it because only certain things have changed about it. Did you see it?
Yeah, it's just basically Alabama, but burgundy and gold.
Yeah, it's literally that. I don't know why they changed their helmets. They could have kept the stripe in the middle. Their helmets, I don't know what's with the new NFL uniforms, but they're really hit or miss, man. Like, the only good one out of this offseason for me was the Chargers, which I love the look of, and the Patriots wasn't even a new uniform. They just switched from their alternates and made it their main. The Falcons uniform looks trash. Obviously, the Rams one looks horrible, and then this Redskins one.
God.
Yeah, this Redskins one, it just doesn't look like an NFL uniform.
I want the Giants color rush to be theirs.
I don't want the Giants color rush to be their main. You know why? Because it's what makes it special. People are gonna get used to it so quickly.
Well, aren't they kind of like doing away with the color rush game, like the whole thing?
Yeah, because I think teams just wear it whenever now at this point. Kind of like with the NBA, how they just wear whatever they want to, uniform they want at this point.
Giant permanent color rush.
Nah, man. That's what I'm saying. If the Giants do get a new uniform, I would want it to be something completely new. But that's just me. I wouldn't want it to be something we're already using. Because if we're getting a new uniform, let it go with the whole new era type of thing, with DJ being the new quarterback and all that. The new coaching staff. Let it be something new. But I'm no design expert, so I had no idea what to suggest.
I hear you.
So according to Bronx B Squad, it's 239 miles from Dallas to Houston, around 4 hours on a bus. Nerding on Sports says he loved the road jerseys from the early 2000s, red numbers with the blue outline. Now that is one I want to bring back. The red numbers with the blue outline. It's very similar to the color rush that we have now, but it's like slightly different, almost inverted. Let me mute my mic real quick. How do I mute my mic? Because I know you guys could hear the phone in the background.
Oh yeah, I definitely could hear the phone.
Yeah, let me mute this real quick.
Dude, we already heard it. It's all right.
I can't. My bad, guys. Oh man, yeah. Do you remember?
At least I heard. Okay.
Yeah, it was just you. So you remember that road jerseys from the early 2000s?
Yes, I do. I do enjoy that one. The Giants have really never had like a terrible uniform to me. I know some Giants fans may say, "Oh, back in the '50s, the old NY." I didn't even mind that.
The old NY? Which old NY? That's back in the 50s, so I have no idea. Really?
But before we went back to the NY, we were just Giants on the helmet from like
that's the 80s, right?
80s on.
Yeah. I don't know why people want to shift back to Giants on the helmet. I love the NY on the helmet. Just change, if there is going to be a uniform change, just do the actual jerseys and I guess the pants if need be.
You know what? I want Giants on the helmet. That's
why?
I mostly grew up with.
Do not go back to nostalgia, man. Do something new.
I'm going nostalgia.
Do something new. Do something new. Come on. Or if you're gonna do that, do a mix like what the Chargers did, because the Chargers are like a mix of new and nostalgia, and that just looks amazing. Whoever did the Chargers uniform, do the Giants uniform if that's gonna happen.
You can't do a mix of nostalgia. It's either Giants on the helmet or NY on the helmet. Like there's no other way.
No, I'm talking about in terms of the jerseys, because like they mixed up their jerseys real nice.
Alright, okay, I can see that.
Well, speaking of which, since we're talking about alternates, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have my red jersey in the background. That's a very decisive one. Were you a fan or not of the red jerseys?
It was here or there, hit or miss for me.
I personally like it. I don't know why, but then again, it was used, sparingly every now and again. If it was used every single game, I think I wouldn't like it because it's too red.
Yeah, maybe.
And Nerding on Sports says, I would say bring the red jerseys back, but we always lost in those like we do in the colorless jerseys. That's another reason I don't want the colorless jerseys to be the main ones. We never win in those. We have never won a game playing in the colorless jerseys.
we've lost the most games out of any team in the last 3 years. What's more losses at this point?
Listen, man, it's superstition, and as a sports fan, you should be on board with the superstition. Like, our most terrible losses is always coming to Colorado jerseys.
It's so funny you bring this up. It really is so funny that you bring that up, because after I forget who the dude that hit the home run off of Tim Wakefield to send the Yankees to the World Series in 2003, or was it the ALCS? Did you guys beat us in the division round? But I don't remember. Obviously, we played you guys the following year in 2004. But after that 2003, I printed up a picture of Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
I taped it to a tree in my backyard because where I live, it's woodsy back there. And I just started pumping shots. Just pumping shots.
Bro, that's a hate crime, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? Yankees did nothing basically from 2003 all the way to 2010. I gotta print myself another fucking picture of Babe Ruth and start shooting at a tree.
Nah, maybe it's already jinxed. You might have to go with another Yankees legend. Maybe Yogi. Who knows?
But yeah, I if anybody should be, but I know I've kind of grown out of it. Oh, I do have a funny story. So my buddy was with the same girl from 07 to 11,
mm-hmm.
and in that time frame, in the 07 playoffs, she would bake cupcakes to bring to her Giants party, her Giants watch party, but I had to decorate them because I used to decorate cakes at Big Y, so I would have to decorate the cakes, and we won all the way up to the playoffs, obviously, and then in 2011 she did the same thing, and I had to decorate all the cakes.
Well, why are they no longer together? They're the reason we're in this mess.
Put it this, but that buddy was my best man at the wedding. After I got married, I never heard from him again.
Wow, what in the world? From best man to not even hearing again?
I never heard from him again.
That's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's like sad and funny at the same time because that doesn't happen.
If you knew the dude, you wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, all right, bet. But I still blame them heavily because that's not a coincidence, man. That's a strong connection right there. What up to Kuzan, bro? How you doing? Kuzan is in the chat, my guy. How y'all doing? You guys got any questions? Might as well post them in the chat. We'll be going until around like 8:30-ish before we end it off. In terms of general NFL talk, or actually no, let's stick with the Giants real quick. Which since training camp is 2 days away, what are the battles you're looking forward to most, if they're even gonna happen, depending on how training camp goes?
All right, so can I go off on a little bit of a tangent right now?
Go ahead.
On the offensive line, and you're not gonna like this, by the way.
Oh,
you're not
okay.
Gonna like this.
I'm preparing myself.
So, as I sit here and I think about it, I say to myself, it's not fair to Andrew Thomas to be rushed into at left tackle. Like, if he had a normal offseason where, rookie mini camp, a bunch of mini camps leading up to training camp, and then had all training camp, bunch of preseason games, okay, I could see it. The dude's got a month, a little less than a month, a little over a month to get ready for the season. Probably a little bit less after all the virtual training before they actually start putting pads on and start hitting each other. Is it really fair? He's going to have like a 2-week time period in pads to get ready to go against TJ Watt.
Oh, let me know when you're done.
No. But my thing is,
yeah.
I think right now it's smart for the Giants to go with the experienced guys and ease those rookies into the lineup. So I was originally looking forward to the offensive line. Right now, secondary, obviously I'm watching because even though DeAndre Baker is going to be allowed, I don't think there's no way he earns a roster spot. Like, I don't see, I put this guy on the PUP list. Like, let him get ready for the season, put him on the PUP list. I'm interested to see who the starting pass rushers are going to be. Obviously, they're going to let O'Shane go out there, Fackrell, Marcus Golden now obviously being
basically
signed.
Like 90% of
Carter,
defense is what.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything else is kind of ironed out to me.
Okay. So let me first address the offensive line because I completely see where you're coming from. I understand 100% where you're coming from, and I am split. I'm not sure. Before I used to be completely 100% put that guy in left tackle. Now because of the good point that you brought up, I'm not sure anymore. But I kind of have arguments for both sides. Obviously, the argument for that he should, put him in at right tackle so he can ease into the role. There's that argument right there. But then to kind of, I guess, counter back is the fact that Andrew Thomas was the top tackle and left tackle in that draft for a reason. The guy has had the most experience playing left tackle than any other tackle. If there's anybody that should be able to overcome this challenge, it will be him, a 4th overall pick, right? You could say that. But then there's also the fact that...
but you know what? If he has a bad performance, man, the Giants fans are going to kill him.
Oh, yes. I 100% agree with you there.
And I don't want this dude's confidence to get rocked in his first season.
I don't think he's going to be a guy whose confidence gets rocked easily just because he's played in the big lights, essentially, for his entirety of his career. But the next thing I was going to say is the difference between right tackle and left tackle is slowly being closed in the NFL. It's not as big as it used to be before, where it's like
because right now you have pass rushers like Von Miller and
exactly. Even T.J. Watt,
just as good as the other.
Exactly. Even T.J. Watt is going to be moved around. You think just because, and I'm not saying you specifically, but do you think just because he's going to be at right tackle or they put him at right tackle that they're not going to line up T.J. Watt, their best pass rusher, against the inexperienced right tackle?
Oh no, you 100% right.
So that's why it's like I'm kind of like I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. Realistically speaking,
I wouldn't even say start him at right tackle. What I was saying is put out the most experienced line. Period. So that probably means Cameron Fleming for a week or two.
Really? Not even if say he wins the job in training camp, you would still put Cam Fleming out there?
No, if they feel he wins the job outright in training camp, I got no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I got no problem either side.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, that's a big if.
But I will say the best thing they can do right now.
Unless the Giants are forced into it because Nate Solder opts out and takes the stipend.
Well,
then that's a different story.
What do you think about that, by the way? Let's get into that real quick because I made a video on that. Shout out to Empire Sports Media. That didn't even pop into my head until I saw the tweet. Nate Solder could be the player on the Giants that fully well opts out because of his kid.
Yeah, he could. It's a possibility. To me, it doesn't affect me either way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have to see. What I want to know is how long it's going to take the NFL to decide their opt-out rules in terms of contract. Because if he's going to still be getting the full contract, that would suck for the Giants that he's not playing and he's still getting paid that. But yeah,
there's no way that the owners cannot bend on that one. I'm sorry. You get your stipend, and maybe you just get an extra year of eligibility.
Shout out to Cowboy X Factor in the chat, and Kuzan actually said what I was going to say in terms of the Andrew Thomas thing. I think the best situation right now would be for him to either sit until maybe halfway through the season or be at right tackle until halfway through the season. But I don't think it's smart at this point because of the fact that
Kuzan said introduce him week 2 or 3.
Week 2 or 3? Really?
Yeah, he said YH.
Yeah. I do see that. And shout out to David B. I'm going to mispronounce this so hard and I apologize, bro. David Bialago. Love both of your channels. I became a Giants fan in the late 70s after beating the Cowboys when they were awful. When were you Giants fans? Thank you for the $5 super chat, David. And I don't know why, but I usually have a little animation pop up there. It did not pop up. Once again, OBS is acting up. So for me, I became a Giants fan. I've told this story a couple times on the channel. I'm only 20 years old, so very recent. I became a Giants fan during the 2011 season. That was when I actually moved to New York, and that was when I started getting into American sports. And because I was living in New York and the New York Giants were the team, I was like, let me go with those guys. And that's just so happens to be the year we won that Super Bowl, so it was kind of a lineup.
The did pop up.
Oh, it did pop up?
Final.
Oh, bet. Wow, you're ahead of it. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, when did you become a Giants fan, OGR?
So I became a Giants fan the minute I popped out of the womb. 36 years ago, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So and I've been a Giants fan ever since. Like I did not have a choice. My dad had a figurative gun to my head. I was going to be a Giants fan. And my dad's my idol. I worship the ground he walks on. When you hear me talk to him, you probably wouldn't be like, "There's no way you worship." But at the end of the day, I respect my father more than anybody in my life. He is my hero. So yes, I worship the ground he walks on. I became a Giants fan because of him, largely because of him, and also living in Connecticut and getting both media markets. That's why you can be a Boston Red Sox Giants fan. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like
that's a pretty beautiful story, though, man. I'm glad you have that type of relationship with your dad. Cowboy X Factor says that I am younger than him. He's in his early 20s. We got a couple young people in here.
Oh, and I wanted to answer Kuzan's question. He goes, which team would you guys rather sweep, Eagles or Cowboys? Eagles for me.
Eagles 100%.
Shut up, Eagles content creators. Just shut Eagles content creators up.
At least we've beaten the Cowboys once in the past 4 years. We haven't sniffed beating the Eagles. No, actually, we have sniffed it. We just haven't capitalized on it in God knows how long. Was it 2016?
There's nothing more than I would love to do. I do jumping jacks live on stream if we beat the Eagles. Like, I will literally just start jumping.
If we beat the Eagles, that is my mini Super Bowl celebration. That is my mini Super Bowl celebration. We haven't had a win against them in so long, and it's the same thing for the Cowboys, but it's exactly like you say. Eagles fans don't shut up. They never shut up about it. And so I would just love to shut them up that once.
And it's so funny because a lot of Eagles fans I talk to really love Daniel Jones.
You're lying. I've never spoken to an Eagles fan that loved Daniel Jones. Who have you been talking to?
Philly Notion is one. He's a small Eagles YouTuber. Lord Brunson doesn't mind Daniel Jones. More so, he uses Daniel Jones to probably troll Cowboys fans. And then there was another one in Lord Brunson's chat that followed my thing today and loves Daniel Jones.
We did not beat the Cowboys twice in 20. Yeah, it was 2016. I was about to say Cowboys X Factor. Yeah, that was the last time we swept the Cowboys. So we swept the Cowboys in 2016. There's another reason that I want to beat the Eagles more. We haven't swept them in a while, let alone beat them in a while.
Ah, my God.
And
if we lost every game this season and only swept the Eagles,
I would be happy. I would be a happy man.
I'd still be talking shit.
Yeah, I would be a happy man, bro. Cause and you know what? If there's any time that we can beat them is this year, because what we said earlier, depth is shot and the offensive line is not there. If there's any time,
the Eagles fans are in for a world of hurt. World of hurt. I've met a lot of good Eagles fans, but I am tired of the brash ones.
Their only solace is if Carson Wentz can actually stay healthy. And it's gonna be weird if he does stay healthy because his offensive line is bad now. His offensive line got no depth now. It will be so ironic that the 1 year Carson stays healthy. Well, he was healthy last year, right? Wasn't he? Well, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was healthy for a full 16 games, yes.
Oh, wow. Well, it would be ironic if the year he's healthy and then gets back to form would be the year that the Eagles got no depth. That would be extremely hilarious.
But you know what? Now, I don't wish injury on anybody, first off. But how crazy would it be if Leonard Williams came barreling through the line, barreled through what's-his-face at right guard now, obviously, because Brandon Brooks is down.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz's leg gets snapped in half.
Oh my God. Listen, I do not condone this, but I would. I'm not saying I would cheer, but I'm not saying I'm gonna sit quietly and just look at the game apathetically either. You know what I'm saying?
Again, guys, I don't condone injuries. This is just my sick imagination at work. I do not want to see Carson Wentz's fucking leg be snapped in half. Okay.
When's the first time we played him? Is it week 7 or something? Because we don't play any NFC opponent for a while.
It's right wrong.
Let's see. Giants 2020 schedule. I know we played the Cowboys week 6. It's crazy. For the first 5 weeks, we don't even face the rival.
Sorry, because Jason Peters is at right guard.
So we
That's
play.
Another thing.
Yeah, that's week 7. What's up?
There's another thing that I just thought about. Jason Peters, okay, starting at right guard. What if Dillard fucking struggles?
They moved him from tackle to guard? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're gonna move him from tackle to guard because they re-signed him to take over for Brooks. But what if Dillard struggles and they slide Dillard into guard and then they put Jason Peters back out to left tackle? How bad is that if you're an Eagles fan? You need Dillard to be that rock.
If that happens,
it's imperative.
Bro, if that happens, their shoddy run game gets even worse, and Carson Wentz is gonna have 2 seconds to pass.
And the sick thing is, I love Miles Sanders. He's no Saquon Barkley, but he's a very good running back in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Miles Sanders is not gonna succeed if that happens. He's gonna face what Saquon faced the first 2 years. He's gonna get tackled in the backfield constantly. And shout out to AJ Marshall. Yeah.
2007 was the last time we swept the Eagles.
That's a long time, man.
Yo, we need. Yo, I want him so bad right now. I didn't even know that.
Listen. We don't even need to. I just want to win. But that sweep right there. Listen, I'm telling y'all, bro. Eagles fans, and it's funny because I have a couple Cowboys fans. Obviously, Cowboy X Factor is one of them. I don't think I've ever seen, and I may be wrong on this, but I don't think I've ever seen any Eagles fan tune into any of my shows, man. But Eagles fans, if you somehow come across this in the future on a replay, bro, be prepared for a disappointing season. I'm really convinced that the Eagles have a chance of dropping even below the Giants this year in terms of record. That's just me, though. Because, don't sleep on the Washington football team either. Because Alex Smith just got cleared to play. And what do you think about that? No, on the real, Alex Smith just got cleared to play. And I think
No. I hear what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
just so funny calling him Washington. You're calling him Washington football team. I can't stop saying.
I wanted to say the WTFs, but I was like, let me just say the full thing because I feel like it would be funnier. But yeah, no, so like I think everybody became an Alex Smith fan after they realized how horrible his injury was, and then there was that documentary that basically was like he's never gonna play again, the Theismann injury. But he has surprisingly been cleared to play football again, and the Redskins are paying that dude more money than they are anybody else in the quarterback room. What are the chances that Alex Smith actually starts this year?
0.
Even though he's been cleared.
Even though he's been cleared.
Let me hear you.
Because he's still got a long way back. Because was it you or somebody else, or was it KB talking about how mangled his leg still looks?
I think it was KB. He was describing it. Yeah.
So he's still got a 2 years, almost 2 years removed from football. You got a long way to come back here.
Okay. But on the Washington football team, though, I will say their defense is really slept on, in my opinion. Now, they don't have the best secondary in the world, but they have a very good defensive line and a respectable, good average linebacking core. I think their defense can make some noise against an Eagles
Their
offensive line.
Front seven is solid.
Yeah, exactly. Their front seven is solid. I think they could make some noise against the Eagles. Like, don't be surprised if the Redskins even beat the Eagles this year. Because remember, Week 1 last year, it was and I just said Redskins again. But remember Week 1 last year, it was Washington against Philly, and Washington actually looked like they were going to beat them.
Yep.
And now
Deshaun Jackson had those big plays.
Exactly. So and now it's like Eagles got worse, Washington possibly got better. Don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
There was one other thing. Oh, Kuzan had a question. He goes, whoops.
What do you attribute to DJ fumble issues, O-line, or pocket awareness? Is that the one you were talking about?
Yep.
So it's both.
Both.
Yeah, it's both. It like pocket awareness for a QB in the NFL. I mean, for a rookie QB in the NFL, I'll be surprised if DJ really had better ones than that. Now, listen, he has to hold on to the football, but just talking about him getting sacked as much as he did, I was not really surprised by that when you consider how the Giants O-line isn't exactly good last year, and then rookie QB awareness, that's always a thing that's like always one of the lowest things for QBs when they come in first time in the league. So I think it's just going to improve with experience in terms of his pocket awareness, and then the O-line I think has been greatly improved. I think he should have less fumbles. I will be disappointed if his fumble numbers are in the double digits this year, though. I will be very disappointed if that's the case.
Yes, I concur. I concur. But you know what? You know what really alleviates fumbles?
What?
Winning.
Really?
Winning, because nobody talks about Carson Wentz's fumbles, and he had 16 last year.
That's almost as much as Daniel Jones, because DJ had what, 18 or 19?
Yeah, and 18, but you never hear about it. Not a one.
I won't say it alleviates it, but it definitely sweeps it under the rug. I'll tell you that. But I will say this: look at Jackson, Lamar Jackson, his rookie year, he had fumble problems. Obviously, second year they were almost completely gone. So DJ is definitely going to improve. Cowboy X Factor says, I think if Alex Smith was healthy, who knows if my team wins the division of 2018. If Alex Smith was healthy, I firmly believe that Washington took that division in 2018. Because 2018 onwards is really when the NFC East really became like the worst division in football. Once we get OGR back, I'll ask him his opinion on that. But yeah, did you hear what I said, OGR?
I didn't get to hear that. I had to go dad mode.
That's okay. I was like, Cowboy X Factor says he thinks if Alex Smith was full for the entirety of 2018, he doesn't know if the Cowboys win the division. I said, I think if Alex Smith was fully healthy in 2018 for the entirety of the season, they win that division. Because 2018 was the first year that the NFC East really dropped to being like the worst division in football.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Washington was early in the lead in that division and was looking at like a decent team.
It was literally like halfway through the season he got injured, I think. Like literally at week 9, I think. Because they were like 5-3. Week 9 he goes down or somewhere around there, and then bam, that was it. Or was it week 10, something like that?
Yep.
Kuzan says Washington are going for the 49ers template of drafting strong pass rush. Exactly. There's a couple templates right now. And I guess, let me get your real quick answer on this. Would you go for the 49ers way of building the team, which Washington is doing, or the Buffalo Bills way of building a team, which the Broncos are doing?
I go neither.
Which way?
Because I don't believe in copying.
Okay.
I don't believe in copying because every time somebody comes out with a template, how many times does a team actually copy it and win because of it?
Well, we'll see that with. I guess we'll find out this year. But
It-
but that by that statement, you could literally say every single template that's being used right now is a copy of somebody else's, just because of how long the NFL's been around.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but at the end of the day, it just kind of where the cards align, who you can draft, what your needs are. But most of the time, you start with the quarterback and build from there. And the Giants, that's the way the Giants build.
Isn't that the way the Bills are building though? They got their quarterback first and then they built around him.
And and I don't think they're actually doing it as successfully as people may think because it all depends on the QB improving. And yes, Josh Allen's not a bad quarterback.
Josh Allen,
I
don't believe in him.
Never impressed by him.
Yeah, I don't believe in him. The fact, whenever you have a quarterback that's more accurate on the run than he is just in a safe pocket, there's a problem there. There's a heavy problem there. Nerding out sports.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
What do you think of the competition? Who do you think would actually win that competition? Because rumors have it that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes might go head-to-head in a power throwing competition. Who do you think wins that?
Well, Mahomes, 100%. Josh Allen has a big arm, but Mahomes has always had a bigger arm than him. Like I think it's Mahomes 100%.
Mahomes is giving Josh Allen credit.
Because guess what? They did that a couple of years ago when Allen was a rookie, and the same year that Mahomes won the MVP, they did it and like Mahomes blew him out of the water. It was like an unofficial competition type of thing. He just absolutely blowed him out of the water. Why did it switch? I have no, and it's not switching back now. Wow, that was amazing. It's a sign. It's a sign because we are getting there.
Now. Go.
We are getting, we got 4 minutes left on here, and Kuzan says, weren't 12 of those fumbles taken to the house too? Are you talking about Carson Wentz? Because I don't think 12 of them were taken to the house from DJ.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. Okay. Raymond Manef in the stream. Shout out to Raymond. How you doing, bro? He says, would you rather have Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase? I don't watch college football like that. Do you know anything about that, OGR?
I'm not sure about Sewell, so I'm gonna have to go with Jamar Chase.
Okay, Jamar Chase. That's definitely the receiver I've been hearing a lot about. I'm gonna have to end the stream a bit early, guys, cause the fam is getting a bit angsty. I don't know if so. I would have to end the stream a bit early. So guys, thank you for tuning in, my guys. Shout out to Edward, Kuzan, Jersey Life, Raymond. Thank you guys for tuning in.